I hope you are all doing well. Today, I want to share something that might seem simple at first glance but holds profound meaning when we take the time to reflect on it. It's about ants. Yes, those tiny creatures that often go unnoticed under our feet, working tirelessly without expecting recognition or praise. In Islam, we are taught that nothing in creation exists without purpose. Allah, the most merciful, has designed this universe with precision, and within every creature, no matter how small, there are signs and lessons for those willing to observe. When we pause and reflect on the life of an ant, we begin to uncover wisdom that can strengthen our faith, improve our character, and deepen our understanding of Allah's magnificent design. One of the most beautiful reminders in the Quran comes from the story of Prophet Sulaiman, peace be upon him, who was granted the ability to understand the language of animals. In Surah An-Naml, verse 18, Allah describes a moment when an ant warned its fellow ants to enter their dwellings to avoid being crushed by Sulaiman and his army. This simple act of awareness, concern, and communication by such a small creature was significant enough to be mentioned in the Quran, which shows us that even the actions of an ant are worthy of reflection. When Allah highlights something in the Quran, it is never random or without deeper purpose. It is a sign, an invitation for us to pause, to think, and to learn. In our fast-paced world, we rarely stop to appreciate the small, quiet examples of dedication, unity, and purpose that Allah has placed around us. But through the lens of Islam, even the humble ant becomes a teacher. Through their actions, they remind us how to work hard, stay united, remain humble, and prepare wisely for the future. These are not just lessons for ants. They are timeless principles for anyone striving to live a life of faith. So today, as we delve into the lessons we can learn from ants in Islamic teachings, I invite you to open your heart and mind to the wisdom found in the smallest of Allah's creations. Because sometimes the tiniest creatures carry the greatest reminders. When we observe ants, one of the first qualities that captures our attention is their incredible dedication to hard work. From the moment they leave their nests, ants are constantly on the move, searching for food, carrying objects many times their own weight, and tirelessly contributing to the well-being of their entire colony. There is no such thing as laziness in the world of ants. Every single one of them has a role, and they fulfill their duties with unwavering commitment. This constant effort and dedication serve as a powerful reminder for us as Muslims, because in Islam, hard work is not only encouraged, it is a form of worship when done with sincere intention and purpose. Allah has created us to be people of action, striving with our hands, our minds, and our hearts to improve our lives and serve those around us, all while seeking His pleasure. The life of an ant reflects the Islamic principle that nothing is achieved without effort. Just as ants spend their days gathering food and securing their future, we are taught to put forth our best effort in our work, whether it is earning a living, studying, caring for our families, or contributing to our communities. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, emphasized the value of working with our own hands, encouraging his followers to earn an honest living through diligence and perseverance. He taught us that the food we earn through our own efforts is the most blessed, and that no work is too small or insignificant when done with sincerity. The ant, despite its tiny size, becomes an example of this very mindset. It doesn't stop to wonder if its efforts are appreciated by others. It works because that is its purpose, and in fulfilling that purpose, it benefits its entire community. In the same way, Islam calls us to be people who do not sit idly by, waiting for blessings to come without effort. Instead, we are asked to get up, to move, to work hard while trusting that Allah will provide the results. Ants do not pause to complain about the difficulty of their tasks or the obstacles in their path. They simply continue, step by step, carrying burdens far greater than what we would expect from such small creatures. This level of commitment is something we can strive to emulate. Every effort we make, no matter how small it seems, can have a lasting impact when done for the right reasons. Through the example of ants, Allah gently reminds us that through steady work, sincere intention, and perseverance, we can achieve great things, not only in this world, but also in our journey toward the hereafter. When we take a moment to reflect on the life of ants, one of the most striking qualities we notice is their incredible unity and brotherhood. Ants do not live solitary lives, nor do they seek personal gain over the welfare of others. Instead, they live and work together with absolute harmony, always placing the needs of their colony above their individual desires. Every ant has a role, and whether they are gathering food, protecting the nest, or caring for the young, each one contributes selflessly to the greater good. Their success depends entirely on this sense of cooperation. Without unity, their colony would fall into chaos, and their survival would be impossible. This is a powerful reminder for us as Muslims, because Islam places enormous importance on unity, brotherhood, and standing together as one community under the guidance of Allah. Allah has commanded us to hold firmly to the rope of faith and not to be divided. The example of ants reinforces this teaching in a way that is both simple and profound. We may come from different backgrounds, cultures, and languages, but like ants, we are meant to work as one, supporting each other and lifting each other up. When ants face a challenge, whether it is carrying a heavy object or defending their home, they do so together. They understand that their strength lies not in the individual, but in the collective. In the same way, the Muslim Ummah is strongest when we stand united, caring for one another and working side by side in the service of Allah. Our differences should never be a reason for division. Rather, they should be a source of strength, allowing us to bring diverse skills, ideas, and experiences together for the benefit of all. Throughout the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, we find countless examples of how he emphasized unity among the believers. He reminded us that we are like a single body. If one part of the body suffers, the whole body feels the pain. Just as ants immediately come to the aid of a struggling member of their colony, we are taught to look out for our brothers and sisters, to care for their needs, and to support them in times of hardship and joy. When we put aside our pride and selfishness and replace them with cooperation and compassion, we create a community that is strong, peaceful, and pleasing to Allah. The ants show us that even the smallest creatures achieve greatness through unity. If they, with their limited abilities, can accomplish so much through working together, imagine what we, as humans, guided by the light of Islam, can achieve when we come together as one. If we take the time to carefully observe ants, we will notice that they are never careless or reckless in the way they live. Every move they make is part of a well-thought-out plan, and they are always preparing for what lies ahead. When food is abundant, ants gather and store it without delay, knowing that difficult times will come when resources are scarce. They do not wait until winter arrives to begin working. Instead, they seize the opportunities of today to prepare for the challenges of tomorrow. This instinctive behavior is an incredible reminder for us as Muslims about the importance of planning and preparation, not only for our worldly needs, but more importantly, for our ultimate journey to the hereafter. Islam does not encourage us to live in a state of carelessness or wishful thinking. Rather, we are taught to use our time, our health, our youth, and our resources wisely, making plans that benefit us both in this life and in the eternal life to come. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, beautifully taught us the value of being prepared. He advised us to take advantage of 5 things before 5 others: our youth before old age, our health before sickness, our wealth before poverty, our free time before we become busy, and our life before death. These words remind us that life is constantly changing, and those who fail to plan and prepare will eventually find themselves facing difficulties they could have avoided. Just as ants never rely on the hope that food will always be available, we should not live as if tomorrow is guaranteed. We are encouraged to work hard today, to save, to learn, to build, and most importantly, to nourish our souls with good deeds and sincere worship, so that when our time comes to meet Allah, we are ready. Planning in Islam is not just about storing food or saving money. It is about being mindful of how we live each moment. Are we preparing our hearts with remembrance of Allah? Are we preparing our families by teaching them values that will benefit them long after we are gone? Are we preparing our communities by building trust, kindness, and support? The ants show us the wisdom of looking ahead, of thinking beyond the present moment, and of acting with purpose. They do not wait for hardship to strike before taking action. Similarly, a true believer anticipates the future, prepares for the unknown, and trusts that with the right effort, Allah will bless the results. By adopting this mindset, we not only protect ourselves from the struggles of this world, but also build a foundation of peace and success in the hereafter. When we look at ants, it is impossible not to notice how small and seemingly insignificant they are. Yet despite their tiny size, ants accomplish extraordinary things. They build complex colonies, gather food with impressive strength, and work together in harmony. But they never do so with arrogance. Ants never stop to boast about their achievements. They do not seek recognition, nor do they show off their strength or abilities. They simply do the work they were created to do, fulfilling their purpose with quiet dedication. This quality of humility is something deeply admired in Islam, and it is a characteristic that every believer is encouraged to embody. No matter how successful we become, how much wealth we acquire, or how much knowledge we gain, we are constantly reminded that everything we have is from Allah. True believers understand that pride is a dangerous path, while humility leads us closer to our Creator. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, was the perfect example of humility. Despite being the most beloved of Allah's creation, a leader, a teacher, and a messenger of divine revelation, he lived a simple life. He ate with the poor, mended his own clothes, and served his family with kindness and care. He never allowed his high status to make him feel superior to others. Instead, he reminded his followers that no one is better than another except through righteousness and the fear of Allah. This teaching is crucial because arrogance is not only harmful to our relationships with others, but it also distances us from the mercy of Allah. Pride blinds us to our weaknesses, makes us ungrateful, and causes us to belittle those around us. Humility, on the other hand, softens our hearts, opens our minds to learning, and helps us serve others with sincerity. When we reflect on the ants, we can see how their humility strengthens their community. No ant refuses to do its part because it feels too important or too proud to work. Each one contributes, no matter how small the task may seem. This is a powerful reminder for us. In our own lives, we must never think that we are above helping others, whether it is through small acts of kindness or larger efforts to support those in need. Our status in this world means nothing if it is not used to serve and uplift others. Just as the ants teach us to stay low to the ground while achieving great things, we too should remain humble, knowing that real greatness is not measured by what we own or who we impress, but by how sincerely we serve Allah and His creation. When we watch ants closely, it becomes clear that they rely on each other completely. They do not live or work in isolation, nor do they seek success for themselves alone. Every action they take is part of a larger purpose, and every ant knows that the survival and prosperity of the colony depend on teamwork and cooperation. Whether they are building their nests, protecting their queen, or gathering food, they never work with selfish goals. Instead, they move as one, each ant fulfilling its task with full trust that the others are doing the same. There is no jealousy, no competition for leadership, and no refusal to help. They understand that real success comes from collective effort, not individual pride. This behavior offers an incredible example for us as Muslims, as Islam constantly reminds us that strength lies in unity and that the most beautiful results come when we work together. The life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, was filled with moments that demonstrated the power of cooperation. When the Muslims built the mosque in Medina, the Prophet himself carried bricks alongside his companions. He did not stand to the side giving orders. Instead, he worked shoulder to shoulder with his followers. During times of hardship, such as the digging of the trench during the Battle of the Trench, everyone contributed what they could. Some provided labor, others brought supplies, and together, through unity, they achieved what would have been impossible alone. These examples teach us that no one should ever feel above working with others, and that no task is too small when it benefits the greater good. Unfortunately, in today's world, we often see the harm caused when people forget the importance of teamwork. Communities become divided over small disagreements. Families drift apart due to pride or selfishness. Projects fail because people refuse to listen, share, and support one another. But when we remember the example of the ants and the teachings of our beloved Prophet, we see a better way. We are reminded to help our neighbors, to support our colleagues, and to stand united with our brothers and sisters in faith. Just as ants cannot build a strong colony alone, we cannot build strong families, communities, or nations without working together. True success is not found in the achievements of one person, but in the shared accomplishments of many hearts, minds, and hands, moving together with sincerity, compassion, and the goal of pleasing Allah. When we embrace the spirit of cooperation, we create a harmony that benefits everyone and earns the blessings of our Creator. When we take a closer look at ants, one of the most inspiring qualities we notice is their remarkable sense of balance. Ants work hard to gather what they need, but they do not take more than necessary. They do not waste or hoard excessive amounts. Instead, they collect what is required to sustain their colony and store enough for future hardships, all without falling into greed or excess. This natural sense of moderation reflects an attitude of gratitude and contentment, qualities that Islam teaches us to live by each day. Just as ants show appreciation for what they find and use their resources wisely, we too are reminded to be grateful for the blessings Allah has provided us, no matter how big or small. Gratitude is not simply about saying Alhamdulillah with our tongues. It is about recognizing the countless favors we enjoy daily and using them in a way that pleases our Creator. Islam emphasizes the importance of contentment and warns us about the dangers of constant dissatisfaction. When a person is always chasing after more wealth, more status, more possessions, they lose sight of the blessings already in their hands. This endless pursuit leaves the heart empty, tired, and unfulfilled. But when someone pauses to reflect on what Allah has already given them, good health, food to eat, a place to sleep, loved ones to care for, their heart becomes peaceful and satisfied. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, taught us that true wealth is not found in having many possessions, but in being content with what we have. Ants never appear restless or greedy, constantly seeking to dominate others or take beyond what is needed. They work with purpose and gratitude, understanding the balance between effort and trust in their provisions. In our daily lives, this lesson from ants reminds us to avoid wastefulness and to stay away from greed. Whether it is food, money, or time, we should use what we are given wisely, sharing where we can and never taking more than our share. Gratitude transforms even the simplest moments into acts of worship. When we sit to eat, when we wake up in the morning, when we complete a task, we should pause to remember that none of it would be possible without the mercy of Allah. Contentment protects us from falling into jealousy and resentment, as we no longer compare our lives to others, but instead focus on how richly we have been blessed. Through the humble example of the ant, we learn that living with gratitude and contentment not only brings peace to our hearts, but also earns us the continued favor of Allah, who promises that when we are thankful, He will give us even more. When we observe ants, it is easy to think of them as simple creatures following instinct alone. But when we look closer, we discover a deep sense of wisdom in the way they live and work. Ants do not move without purpose. They carefully navigate their environment, finding the best paths, overcoming obstacles, and adjusting to changes without hesitation. When something blocks their way, they do not give up or retreat in defeat. Instead, they find new solutions. working together to clear the path or finding an alternative route. This remarkable ability to adapt and respond thoughtfully to their surroundings is a reminder for us as believers to approach life with reflection and wisdom. Islam encourages us to think deeply, to ponder the signs of Allah all around us, and to use our minds to seek knowledge and truth. Allah has filled this world with lessons, and those who take the time to reflect will always find guidance. Just as ants do not blindly rush into danger or waste their efforts on impossible tasks, we are taught to consider our actions carefully. Before we speak, we should think. Before we make decisions, we should seek knowledge and advice. Before we act, we should ask ourselves if our intentions are sincere and pleasing to Allah. This habit of reflection protects us from regret and guides us toward success in both this life and the next. The Quran repeatedly calls on us to observe the world, to study creation, and to learn from the creatures Allah has made. Nothing exists without meaning, and the smallest ant can teach us as much as the grandest mountain if we pay attention with an open heart. In our fast-paced lives, it is easy to act without thinking, to rush through our days without reflection. But when we pause, just as ants carefully consider their surroundings, we open ourselves to wisdom. We learn to handle challenges with patience, to seek better ways forward, and to trust that with thoughtfulness and faith, Allah will guide us to the best outcomes. Success is not found in speed or noise, but in quiet moments of reflection, where we align our actions with the wisdom that Islam so beautifully teaches. As we come to the end of this reflection, it is truly remarkable to realize how much wisdom can be found in something as small and overlooked as an ant. These tiny creatures, often ignored as they move busily beneath our feet, hold within their simple lives lessons that can shape our hearts, our actions, and our understanding of what it means to live with purpose. Islam teaches us that nothing in creation exists without meaning. And through observing the ant, we are reminded of the values that lead to a life of true success. The ant shows us what it means to work hard without seeking praise, to live humbly while carrying great responsibilities, to cooperate with others in harmony, and to prepare wisely for the future. It reminds us that strength is not always found in size or power, but often in the quiet, consistent dedication to doing what is right. These lessons are not just meant to be admired from a distance, they are meant to be lived. When we embrace the work ethic of the ant, we become people who strive with sincerity in all that we do. When we adopt its sense of unity, we become members of a community that supports and uplifts one another. When we practice gratitude and contentment like the ant, we free ourselves from the endless chase of wanting more, and instead find peace in what we already have. When we reflect on the wisdom of the ant's way of life, we learn how to navigate our own challenges with patience, thoughtfulness, and trust in Allah's plan. It is humbling to think that one of the tiniest creations of Allah can hold such profound reminders, but that is the beauty of our faith. Islam invites us to pause and look closely at the world around us, to listen to the quiet teachers that cross our path each day, and to find meaning in the ordinary. Through the story of the ant, Allah gently calls us back to the values that truly matter. May we carry these lessons forward, working with sincerity, living with humility, supporting one another with love, and preparing our hearts for the life to come. And may Allah guide us always to see the signs He has placed before us, even in the smallest of His creations. Thank you for spending your time with us here at Islamic Insights. We hope this reflection has brought you wisdom and inspiration to apply in your daily life. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay connected with more meaningful reminders from the beautiful teachings of Islam. May Allah bless you, guide you, and grant you success in this life and the hereafter. Until next time, stay mindful, stay grateful, and keep seeking knowledge.